Tell me about this experience.
Well, it's certainly one that I won't forget.
Today, Seal and Victor Oladipo tell us all about their impressive runs on The Masked Singer. Designers Brittany, Tyler, and Shavi are here to break down the new season of Project Runway.
It's an emotional runway show. It's the first one, so of course I'm crying.
And Jordan reveals how he won the challenge in War of the Worlds 2.
I have to win and bring home the money for Tori.
This is your reality check.
Mama needs to pay the bills.
Welcome to the show. This mama needs to pay the bills. I'm so excited to be here today because it's our season finale. I'm so thankful to all of you that watched Reality Check and kept this train running. We have a jam-packed show for you today, so let's get to it. If you don't know by now, how could you? I'm Daryn Carp, your guide through all things reality, and joining me right now are two amazing cast members from Temptation Island, Medinah and Kari. How are you two beautiful ladies doing?
I am great.
I'm great too. I'm amazing.
Oh, you are amazing. All right. Well, I can't wait to chat with you guys about Temptation Island. It's such a good show. But to do a little bit of hazing for you guys, I'm bringing you here to break down our top 5 stories of the day. At number 5. Christmas time is here at the Harris-Burka household, and the family went all out decorating their stunning 5-story brownstone in Harlem. Neil Patrick Harris and husband Chef David Burka recently opened up their family home to show off their magical holiday decor, which the couple takes great care in setting up themselves ahead of their annual Christmas party. Are you guys decorators for the holidays at all? Do you guys do that?
I always want to be, but I just let my mom do it, and then I go home and enjoy her decorations.
Girl after my own heart.
Honestly,
there.
I haven't even decorated yet. Like, I don't even know where my decorations are.
Are you a real tree or a fake tree?
I'm a fake tree.
Oh.
Because it's too much cleanup.
You gotta have the fresh scent.
But I spray the smell. I do spray the smell.
That counts. At number 4. Looks like Stormi and Sam are snuggle buddies. Kim Kardashian West shared an adorable photo of the cousins on Wednesday, taking note of how much sister Kylie's daughter loves the youngest member of the West family. The sweet moment comes after Stormi joined her mom on a snow trip to Park City, Utah, where the toddler tried snowboarding. I mean, do you guys snowboard at all? Because this toddler's already killing it, and I could never snowboard.
Can I just be a baby Kardashian?
Can we all? I would revert back to being an infant to be under that family.
I would do it.
Yeah, I still haven't snowboarded. I'm 29.
Girl.
Yeah, we gotta get in that clan. We'll wiggle our way in. At number 3. After 4 years together, Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani are ready to take the next step. The couple have hit a roadblock, however, as they plan their future together. Multiple sources tell People. The former No Doubt rocker, who is a practicing Roman Catholic, hopes to have church ceremony with the country star, but needs to first get her marriage to ex-husband Gavin Rossdale annulled. Have you guys ever heard anything about this? Like, I thought that was they were already married.
I thought they had babies.
Me too. I mean, I went to Catholic school, so I don't know what she's talking about, but I know the rules are really strict.
Yeah.
So whatever she has to do it, girl. Because
Feels like you don't want to piss off the Roman Catholic Church, if I know anything about church.
I feel like I would make people mad.
Yeah. I'm sure Temptation Island does.
We get
isn't
they don't
Catholic
like that.
and pious.
We breaking some rules.
Yeah. All right, for more on this story, pick up a copy of the new issue of People on newsstands now. And at number 2, Frankie is just too fine. Cassie Ventura's newborn daughter, Frankie Stone Fine, made her social media debut on Wednesday in a sweet black and white Instagram photo posted to Mommy's account with the caption, "She's just different." The adorable post was quickly flooded with a number of congratulatory messages. Cassie and husband Alex Fine welcomed their first child together on Friday, December 6th, about a year after Cassie split from ex Sean Diddy Combs. I mean, adorable, am I right?
I feel like this gives us hope.
No, yeah, this gives us all hope. And also Frankie Fine, like, that's a name.
That's a name.
That is a name that's going to be famous right there. She's going to kill it in the game.
I can't wait to see her.
Oh, already, she's just beautiful.
Her little hand.
And at number 1, the countdown to the new season of The Bachelor is on, and ABC has given fans a sneak peek at all the drama to come. In a new promo for Peter Weber's upcoming season, it looks like he finds himself in hot water with host Chris Harrison as he hears him tell the pilot, "You need to make this right." While the reason behind the tense moment is unclear, Peter isn't the only one catching heat this season. Women are cracking under the pressure of fighting to the pilot's heart. I mean, I don't know if you guys are Bachelor fans, but this guy had sex in a windmill 4 times with the last Bachelorette. So there's a lot of sex going on in this season.
We like that.
I feel like you guys are not like ashamed of sex being on Temptation Island, right? Yeah, no. This is something you guys embrace on the show.
You have
Definitely.
You absolutely have to. Well, tonight is the season finale of Temptation Island. Let's chat a little bit about what to expect. Medinah, last week you went on an overnight date with Rick and were completely friend-zoned. How did that make you feel? I can only imagine.
Oh my God, I really have to be honest. I've never been friend-zoned in my life. So when Rick did that, I wanted to smack him.
And did you?
No.
You should have.
I just accepted it and I was like, okay, I've already been crazy enough. Let me just show y'all that I can be calm.
Was it a humbling moment for you?
It was. I was like, wow, you really just trying to be my friend? Why?
Well, Kari, did you feel like you got friend zoned this season and maybe you wanted to pursue a romantic connection?
I didn't even get a chance to be friend zoned. Honestly, like I was only there for a very short period of time, but I think it was a blessing in disguise because I don't know. I mean, the guys were okay.
Okay. The guys were okay. She said that with her eyes. It was air quoted eyes.
I'm trying to find Cassie's man, you know?
That's fair. You're trying to support. Well, I want to talk about Casey for a minute. He took his overnight date to go ring shopping for his pre-show girlfriend, Ashley. Meanwhile, Ashley was in a completely different headspace, having fallen for Ben. So what are your opinions about this? Do you think Casey will be able to win back Ashley? Ooh, Kari does not look positive about that.
I just think Casey came in way too confident. He was like, my girl's not gonna do nothing. She's so happy with me. She's obsessed. Bruh, he just shouldn't have
Like, he
did
wouldn't
that.
even talk to us. Like, we just wanted to be his friend. He was 100% there for Ashley the whole time. I think he should have kind of let his guard down and just been a little bit more open to meeting someone there, honestly.
I feel like every relationship needs to go on Temptation Island. Like, this is going to be the ultimate make or break test for any relationship.
Not mine. I don't
They
know.
need to do a marriage edition. Tonight.
With you and Rick?
I love this idea. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Catch the season finale of Temptation Island tonight at 10/9 Central on USA Network. And you can catch up on the entire season on usanetwork.com/Temptation Island. We have to go to break. When we come back, we're talking to the megastar who was unmasked last night, Seal. Stay tuned. What a moment. Welcome back. On the line now is legendary four-time Grammy winner, Seal. How are you, Seal?
I'm great, Daryn. How are you?
I'm doing well. That was an intense moment. You had an impressive run on The Masked Singer. What was the whole experience like for you?
It was a lot of fun. Obviously, I got to see life from a slightly different perspective. You know, I got to not be Seal and assume this alter ego of the leopard. And I also got to see how people related to me without knowing it was me, of course. So that was really interesting.
How did it
Who I was. They weren't fooled for 1 second.
Well, it's hard because you have such a good voice. If you were a bad singer, maybe it would have been easier to mask.
Thank you.
How did it compare to other performances or tours in your career?
Well, the main difference was that I looked like a drag queen. and so that was interesting. And now I know I'll make a good drag queen. So I guess that if there's anything, that's one benefit that came from it. How does it compare? Well, I wasn't playing myself. I was playing this alter ego called the Leopard, and it was all very kind of tongue-in-cheek. Whereas when I am touring, the whole point of what I'm trying to do is connect with myself and reveal myself. And I guess with this, I was concealing who I was.
Well, you play a sexy drag queen, Seal. That's all I'm going to say.
A sexy drag queen.
You could do it.
You know, if I ever go down that road, I will say that you, Daryn, endorsed it. And so how wrong can it be?
Exactly. Well, you were in this like regal, royal leopard outfit. You know, where did this persona come from? And did you get to pick the leopard costume?
It was a collective effort with the wonderful art department at The Masked Singer. You know, just a big round of applause to them because they really went to town on it. And so once you, in terms of where the persona came from, well, I guess I now understand why some artists choose a doppelganger, why they will kind of assume these different characters, because when you put the costume on, you can't help but assume a character. I mean, I'd look pretty ridiculous wearing a costume like that and just speaking as Seal, wouldn't I?
I agree. It would have been, it's pretty funny though. You said that you couldn't fool anyone, but what did you make of some of the panelists' guesses? We had Billy Porter, Jamie Foxx, even Jeff Goldblum last night. What did you make of it?
Yeah,
Were you
I think
smiling?
that was an interesting parody. I don't know whether Kim really thought that I was Jeff Goldblum. It was fun, and they figured out who I was. Jenny did, and certainly Robin did, but they figured it out, and so see, initially I was concerned about them knowing who I was, because I thought, well, of course they'll recognize my voice. So I made a concerted effort to conceal my voice in the first 2 rounds. But then it became like a juggling act, doing choreography, trying to sing in this like heavily restrictive costume. I couldn't see because my line of sight was through the actual jaw of the mask of the leopard. And so I was just trying to kind of, get through it without falling off the stage. And so that's when I started not to try to disguise my voice as much. And then they figured out it was me. But it was fun, trying to trick them for the rest of the duration.
Well, you put on some hell of a performance. In your clue package last night, you mentioned going on the show so your Cubs would think you're cool. So what's the verdict?
My Cubs. Well, the Cubs is a term that they came up with, leopard Cubs.
Of course.
Yeah, I thought I figured, look, it was a chance to kind of, do something lighthearted and make a fool of myself. And these days I try and jump at every opportunity to do precisely that. My son, who I watched last night's episode with, my eldest son, Henry, he wasn't fooled for 1 second. In actual fact, I was the second reveal, and he didn't want it to be me because he wanted me to, because, he was so convinced it was me, and he wanted me to continue, to the finale.
So do the children think you're the coolest dad in the world now? Or are they like judging you for your performance?
No, of course they don't. I mean, well, if they do, they certainly don't let me know about it. But then that's, that's what they're supposed to do. They can never let me think I'm cool.
Keeps you humble, Seal.
Keep me on my toes. Although my son, I have to say Henry does, and they all do actually. They I don't know if they let me know I'm cool. They just let me know that they love me.
Well, I mean, that's the most important of all. How is co-parenting going with Heidi, actually?
Co-parenting?
Yeah.
How is co-parenting going? That's an interesting question. I never really think of it as co-parenting. You just kind of, you do what you're supposed to do as a parent. And, as long as they are happy, as long as you see the children thriving and doing well in school and feeling confident, doing well in life, more importantly, as long as they are happy, then I guess the answer to your question is it's going really well. But it's not the easiest gig in the world, is it, parenting? Because it's the one gig that you're not afforded the luxury of mistakes.
Amen to that. Well, Heidi actually brought you on to America's Got Talent 2 years ago, I believe. Would you ever consider being part of the judge panel in the future?
No. I just think things like that are ridiculous. What am I going to do? Sit up there and tell people and critique people? No. And that's not something I particularly enjoy doing. I like coaching. I coached on the Australian version of The Voice for its first 2 years running. And I was really, really, really fortunate to be able to sort of be part of the development lives of these young artists. And that's something I really enjoyed doing. But judging or critiquing is no. there's zero. There's my interest in that.
You got a good coaching, good mentorship, Seal. You've got going
Coaching.
on.
I love coaching. I love because it's connecting, isn't it? And it's helping people to reach their full potential. If you feel that you can see the path of least resistance for them. I love that aspect. I love the idea of coaching and mentoring. I'm very, very enthusiastic about that.
Well, you're a good dad. It all makes sense. It has been an honor to have you on our show today, Seal. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me a question that that I felt I could comment on.
I'm shaking it up for you, Seal. I'm shaking it up for you. Thank you so much for being here.
Merry Christmas. Happy
You
New
as
Year.
well. Happy holidays. Up next, we're chatting with the unmasked thingamajig, Victor Oladipo.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. I am a huge NBA buff. I think this could be someone who played for the Indiana Pacers. And let me tell you, the best singer in the NBA circles is Victor Oladipo.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with a singer formerly known as the Thingamajig, NBA All-Star Victor Oladipo. How are you, Victor?
How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing very well, very, very well. You really had the panelists and fans completely fooled. It was only Ken who guessed correctly. Surprising even himself. Was it cool to kind of fool everyone throughout it? Were you smiling underneath that costume?
Yeah, it was kind of fun, especially hearing the judges' opinions on who they thought it was before Ken kind of guessed me. I've heard all kind of people from Dwight Howard to Montel Jordan and guys like that. So it was just funny just hearing their opinions and hearing them trying to figure out who I was.
Well, listen, Victor, you really do it all. Not only were you on this, you are an NBA All-Star. How did performing on The Masked Singer compare to performing on the court?
It's similar as far as like you got to have preparation. So a couple of days before I would go on and shoot for The Masked Singer, I had to prepare, whether it's memorize the song, memorize the steps. Similar to basketball, before you go onto a court, you definitely got to practice and know the plays and things like that and watch film and get ready for the game. So it was similar. And the beauty of competition, obviously. So I had a good time doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Did you like your costume as a thingamajig, or were you a little intimidated by it?
Yeah, I loved it. I actually picked it. They gave me a few options in the beginning, and I kind of fell in love with it because it was unique, obviously. You don't really see it every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could relate to it.
Yeah, it fit your character really well. You're seriously, honestly, a jack of all trades. You play ball, you sing well, and you cook. I mean, one, marry me, but two, what don't you do?
I don't know how to draw, so I think that's probably the only thing I don't know how to do.
All right.
My sister draws very well, so maybe I can learn from her.
All right, I'm going to use this against you later, Victor. Over and over, Nicole kept calling you her future husband, just like I did, and then you've repeatedly agreed to take her on a date. What would that date look like, and are you going to actually take her on a date?
If I actually do, hopefully it's in the near future, if the moment or opportunity presents itself. If I did, I would just take her to wherever she wants to go, because it would be all about her and me getting to know her, and obviously us getting to know one another.
I'm curious actually about your singing ability. When did you start singing? How did you get into it? What's your story? What's your background there?
I started singing when I was about 7 years old. My parents kind of forced me to sing in the church. And then as I continued to grow and get older, I started to realize from other people's opinions that I wasn't half bad. And then eventually about 3 or 4 years ago, I finally put out my first EP. And last year I put out my second album. And people actually like it, so it's kind of cool.
No, you're great at it. What's next for you, and how is your knee doing? Do you think you'll be back playing with the Pacers anytime soon?
Yeah, definitely soon. My knee's doing well. I'm getting stronger every day. I'm just taking it one day at a time, really honestly, and just trying to be patient and smart, not trying to rush back too fast. But when I get back out there, I'll be better than I ever was. So I look forward to that opportunity.
We don't doubt that. Were any of your fellow Pacer players watching the show and surprised to see you doing it, by the way?
Yeah, for sure. You know, a lot of guys definitely ask me about it. Are you that thingamajig on the Masked Singer? I always used to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even watch the show. So I know it was kind of funny to them because it sounded just like me. They hear me sing every day. So unfortunately, I couldn't tell them the truth.
Of course. Did you talk to your family about it? Were they watching along? Did they have any idea?
No, I mean, obviously, you know, they're my family. So it was funny after they watched the first episode and they saw, you know, people saying it was me, and they watched the second episode. My mom said, "You can't fool me. I know my son from anywhere." So it was easy for them to figure out it was me, but I still, you know, denied it until yesterday.
You're a clever cat, Victor. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Catch the 2-hour season finale of The Masked Singer next Wednesday at 8/7 Central on Fox. We have to take a quick break, but Jordan will tell us all about his big challenge win.
This season has been the toughest season I've ever done.
Oh my God! You want this? You come down here and do it, baby!
And I'm engaged to the love of my life.
Oh my God, you guys just won the challenge! You guys just won!
Welcome back to the show. I'm geeking out because we've got the newly crowned challenge champ on the line. Jordan, how are you feeling after that 3 consecutive wins, my friend?
You know what? I just got like re-amped up like I'm there after watching that little trailer. It was really, really exciting to watch this one back. It was a very tough season for us, you know, but we wouldn't change a dang thing.
Do you think it was the hardest season you've ever competed in?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, with Tori and I there together, mentally, this game is so much more mental. You know, there are a lot of stellar athletes on the show. So when you show up, you know that the physicality is going to be there. But outlasting your opponents mentally, and to try and do that and like still nurture this relationship that Tori and I have, it was tough. But that's why, you know, when we made it that far and I got that Theo elimination, I was like, I am marrying this girl. You know, like we made it through this and we're so good. We even felt stronger as we were going through it. So yeah, that going through this whole experience together was awesome.
You know, congratulations on the engagement. I mean, what a surprise for the fans. I actually have to know, I mean, you brought the ring with you, obviously, but let's just say, in theory, hypothetically, you lost that challenge to Theo. Were you just going to wait until you got back home and, like, wait a little while until the time was right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, in a perfect world, I saw it as we're going to win the final together, and then I'm going to say, screw the money, marry me, you know? And then whenever I saw it was like, it was cards stacked against us, with the alliance and everything, I was like, you know what, I gotta shoot this shot now, and I'm really glad I won because there was no way I was asking if I lost.
Yeah, no, I figured you wouldn't want to go on that. You wanted to go in an upswing for sure. I'm just so happy for the two of you. I love you both. I actually want to talk about Tori for a second because although you won, you know, a huge $250,000, you had to leave your fiance behind. Let's just take a look at that moment again.
I cannot help feeling a little defeated that I had to leave my #1 on shore.
I'm so bummed. I really wanted to run this final and win it with Jordan. It's my 3rd time doing the challenge, but the season just wasn't mine.
You know, what were you feeling in that moment? Did it make the win sort of feel a little bittersweet? Because Tori deserved it, I felt, to win above anyone else.
Above me, above anyone else. She deserved to win that. That was the most heartbreaking moment that, you know, I've ever had to go through with Tori, especially because, like, I cannot explain how difficult, just how taxing carrying that gurney was. So for our girls to duke it out like they did, and Tori was a workhorse for us, you know, in all season. Puzzles, you know, like you never know, you know, and it got us. It was so hard to get on that boat, and like I wanted her to go. Like I even like waited on the beach, and I was like, "Yo, you can have my spot," and she was like, "No, man, you need to go get that money."
Well, I mean, you guys, I liked at the end of the show how she said, you know, like, I'm bummed, but I'm marrying Jordan, so what's his is mine. I kind of won. And I was like, good call, Tori. I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, I got one of the coolest moments of the season was seeing Tori go up against Jenny in the wall brawl. And I was like, I was nervous because I know Tori's an amazing competitor and she's going to bring it every time, but Jenny's stacked, like she's swole, and I was a little nervous for her. Paulie was here yesterday, and he told me that Tori was playing a little mind trick with Jenny, being really sweet and nice to her. Did you and Tori like talk about about her strategy like before that happened, or was that all her? Like, what went down there? Because she crushed Jenny.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was. That was really bittersweet for both Tori and I to watch because we really became friends with Jenny. So when they were going down there, you know. And Jenny really believed in the UK team that they weren't going to like screw us over and put Jenny against Tori, and they did. You know, they threw the challenge so they could let the tribunal put Jenny in, and then it kept the blood off of the UK's hands, right?
Right.
So going down there, that was really heartfelt for them to have to go against each other because we had all become such good friends. But the strategy going into that, Tori turns around when we found out, when we hear it's Jenny, and she goes, "Babe, I'm scared." And I looked at her and I said, "I'm scared too. Yeah. Like, I am too. But you know what? You need to go out there and you need to hit her as hard as you possibly can that first round. It doesn't matter if you win or lose the first one. You just need to hit her harder. And then the second round, she won't want it." And the first hit was actually bigger. Like, even though the second hit, it was such a dramatic, effect. The first hit, they both ran in there with everything they had. And when they hit, it was loud and painful. And I think Jenny ran in there the second time. And I'm not taking anything away from Jenny because she's an amazing competitor. But once she felt Tori the first time, she pulled up a little on that second one. And I think that's why she went to her back.
I mean, Tori was just like, wow. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was screaming at home. You know, I want to talk about that final, watching back and seeing it all play out. What do you think was Paulie's downfall? Because he talked a huge game, and then when it came down to it, it didn't seem like he could really walk the walk.
This was not the longest final, obviously. I mean, last year's was over 50 miles. But the climate for this one was so deadly. It was 95 degrees at all times and 100% humidity. So, I lost on that first 16 miles, I lost a good 7 pounds of just water in about 4.5 hours. What they didn't show was we slept on the floor, on the jungle floor, the entire night before the challenge. So we spent 14 hours on the ground. Nobody slept at all. So when you look at us on the starting line, we've all got like bags under our eyes. We're all like dead from the start. No breakfast. You're not getting nourished when you're there. So I think that's the hard part for people to conceive. It's like, yo, yeah, you can do a 2-hour workout, great. But can you do a 48-hour or a 52 or a 60-hour workout without lunch breaks, without breakfast breaks? There's no dinner break. That's the hard part. And man, it just eats your body up.
Well, it is nice of you to sort of, blame the weather a little bit, but Paulie was talking a lot of smack the whole season.
I know.
And he even said earlier in the episode, I'm ready, like, I feel great, I feel awesome, I've been training all week, all year for this, and then just, like, gassed out. Like, come on. Like, don't you think that was a little bit of karma for treating you guys kind of so poorly the whole season?
This was the season of karma, from the beginning. With Paulie specifically, he's only been in, this was his third season, and he's been in one final before. And it was arguably the easiest final in challenge history. So I think he had a very skewed idea of what a real Justin Booth final looks like. And they're long and they're hard. And I think he got his first taste of what a real final is. So welcome to the challenge, Pauly.
Yes, welcome to the challenge. I'm surprised because at the end, you two actually embraced and he congratulated you on your win. Did you sort of expect that?
Yeah, Pauly and I have a huge amount of respect for each other in the game. I really like competing with Pauly because he's a stud athlete and he plays the game. You know what I mean? Like, when you can come in this game and you can not take moves personal, I think that's where like real legends are born. And like I really like playing with Pauly. It makes it a fun, competitive game, and I know he's going to bring it. So it'll be fun to see how his and I's rivalry, if you will, kind of goes from here.
Yeah, I mean, I will say he's not a sore loser, and it's really nice to see because you want to see this competitive aspect come out. I have to ask, do you really view Kara as a weak competitor playing a scared game? Pauly was here yesterday and said they both wanted to work with you and Tori early on. Is that true?
They've said this before, but we never came for them. They kind of like created this whole narrative that like we were like with Bananas and trying to like get them out, and like that was a priority. When Zach and I had already pulled Pauly aside and said, "Yo, Pauly, we think you're good. So like we want to get this money. We don't know how many people are going to go to a final, but we want them all to be the best. So let's do this thing." And he was like, "Yeah, all good." And the Bananas thing kind of got Tori and I caught up because we're obviously not going to go against Bananas. But we weren't a part of like the schemes and everything, we weren't privy to those conversations. So we just kind of got lumped into the like we're coming for Americans type thing. And to answer your question on do I think Kara is a weak player?
Yeah.
I'm going to be very honest. I play this game very objectively. And watching people throughout each individual game, yes, I do. She's not a great swimmer. She's not a great runner. She freaks on puzzles. If it was a pull-up challenge, she'd smoke everybody. You know what I mean? But it's not. This is a very multi-dimensional game, and it's not the same game it was 14 seasons ago. So I think she's very scary in eliminations, and I think that has gotten her a long way. But 14, 15 seasons, 2 wins.
Good point. The math doesn't lie. I will say her biceps are a little scary.
So scary. I get it. I get it. If I'm on the girls' side, like she's very scary, to see down there one-on-one in the sand. So I get why she wouldn't go into eliminations. But there's this it's the entitlement, I know I'm cocky and I talk a lot, but I really direct it towards the game. And I try and stay very humble as far as like challenge wins. And I know that it takes so much to win a challenge. It's not just the best athlete out there. We're there for a very long time, cut off. It's very, very hard. So anybody who can get a win, like good on you. But, I like playing the game, and I don't take things personal. And I think when people take things personal, it gets hard to play the game.
This season, more than ever, you really see the mental game come out even more than physical. Before I let you go, because I could talk to you all day, there are a few people who haven't had a challenge win yet. Other than Tori, who do you think deserve their first win based on the overall season, like Leroy?
Oh, my God. Like, you said it right there. Leroy, that was a huge turning point in the game for Tori and I because it was the elimination that Theo went in against Idris, and we wanted Leroy was in that tribunal, and we wanted Leroy. We're like, Leroy, you need to put Joss in. Joss is working with Pauly. We need to break that alliance up. Like, come with us. We'll have the numbers if you're with us. Like, Leroy was the swing, and he didn't. He put Theo in, and I was like, damn it, Lee. Like, why won't you play with me? And like we could go in together.
Right.
And yeah, and then afterwards I said, Lee, I was like, what was up? He was like, man, I don't know. He's like, I just felt like they had the numbers and like they were going to run it, and I was like, I get it. I was like, next time, just ride with me. He goes, never again, bro. I'm never not going with you again. I said, all right, let's go get it.
I'm sure he regrets that now. Jordan, thank you so much for being with me today, and congrats again on the well-deserved win.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate you guys watching and following along. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. Guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be chatting with not one, but 3 of the contestants from this season's Project Runway.
Brittany, you are the winner and have immunity in the next challenge.
It's incredible. Oh my God. I was like blown away.
She won.
I now think, I'm here for a reason.
Welcome back to the fashion show. I have Tyler, Neaslony, Shavi, Lewis, and Brittany Allen from Bravo's Project Runway. How you guys doing? Wow, that was a mouthful.
Very happy to be here.
It's the first and last names, Anna. It's like
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. Now, the new season premiered last week, and you all were a hit with a Team Space Hotel challenge straight out of the gate. Brittany, how did it feel to win the first challenge?
I think we go into the competitions like this. You go in having a lot of self-doubt. You think like, oh, I'm just one of 16 people, and I don't know anybody. They're going to be bringing their A game. I don't know what they specialize in. I mean, we all know what we're doing, and so to win the first challenge, it was like, okay, now I can breathe. I was kind of like validated, but it was very surreal. It actually didn't hit me until like later that night.
Do you feel like you had like a target on your back a little bit? Like you were the one to watch because you kind of, came out of the gate strong?
I mean, well, I had immunity.
Right.
I got immunity, so I didn't really worry about that too much.
What was the hardest part of the challenge for each of you?
For me, it was the pace. My creative process is it's so relaxed and methodical. Just to be able to, throw something together in, 20-minute sketch, 30 minutes at Mood, 2-day challenge, 1-day challenge. It was a lot. You see it on TV and you see how it plays out, but in reality, it's just a whole different ball game.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's so much pressure.
Yeah. What about you, Shavi?
For me, it was working with a teammate on the first challenge because, right out the gate, I kind of wanted to come in and just, create the biggest, most extraordinary piece I can. But you got to kind of balance it off with somebody else and play off their strengths and weaknesses, and I'm used to designing by myself.
Yeah.
So to have somebody else's input on my garment, it was a little bit like, okay, this is different. But yeah, no, Chelsea was amazing, so we kind of got along right off the bat, so I trusted her.
Yeah, you guys worked really well
Yeah,
together.
yes, the homie.
How did you all feel going into the first runway show of the season? Nerve-wracking?
Oh my gosh.
Gassy.
Yeah, gassy.
I don't think I can ever wear that shirt again because it's permanently so much sweat.
Yeah.
You got to frame it, and it's just like,
Oh yeah,
That's your winning
yeah.
shirt.
Instead of just having the $1, my first $1, it's my first shirt.
Right. Your winning shirt, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's are the nerves like anything you've ever felt in your entire life?
No.
I literally held my breath the first time, and I was just until the model left the runway, that's when I can just, okay, that happened.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, but it happened.
Yeah, it happened,
Is it nerve-wracking or absolutely incredible and mind-blowing to have the Christian Siriano as a mentor? What's that like for all of you?
It's both.
Yeah.
I mean, to have somebody of his stature just critique your looks and be able to bounce ideas off him is, I think, everything that an up-and-coming designer wants,
And he's been through what we've been through.
Exactly.
He literally did this competition and he won it. So he knew everything that we were going through at the time. I mean, he knew kind of how to conquer any fears that you had, how to really hone into being true to yourself,
right.
While also doing the team challenge. So he had a lot of really good advice.
Yeah.
But I mean, he won. So we're kind of how do we win? We're trying to get that from him.
Do you ever feel like he's too harsh on any of you guys?
I don't think so. I mean, coming into this, you're in the fashion community, and that itself is a whole beast. So you're kind of used to the critiques. You're kind of used to people being harder on you and a little bit more objective of your creation. So when you're getting it from somebody that knows exactly what they're talking about, it feels a little bit different than getting it from somebody else outside of that world.
I will say the pressure in the fashion community. I went to the CFDA Awards once, and I've never felt more nervous and out of place in my entire life.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, let me say. And I'm not in fashion, so I can only imagine. What else can we expect from this season?
Drama.
Plenty of drama.
It is a spicy season, and it's so exciting. You know, it's just get ready for it.
No
It's
pun
good.
intended, but for the next episode, the claws are out.
The claws are out, girl.
The scissors and the claws
It's
are
gonna be
out.
wild.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Well, Tyler, Shavi, Lewis, Brittany, thank you so much for being here today. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to see the rest of the season. Good luck to all of you. I'm sure you're going to
Thank
kill
you.
it.
So much.
Watch an all-new episode of Project Runway tonight and every Thursday night at 9:30, 8:30 Central on Bravo. Stay tuned after the break. We're hitting you with some more retro reality realness. Don't go anywhere. Well, guys, that marks the end of today's show and our season 1 finale. Big thanks to our guests today, the legendary Seal, Vic, Oladipo, Jordan, Medinah, and Kari, Brittany, Tyler, and Shavi. Whew. And a huge thanks to all of our fans and all of the guests we've had this year. Thank you so much. You can catch all our episodes from season 1 on our YouTube page and the PeopleTV app. We're back January 6th with a brand new episode just in time for the Bachelor premiere. To end our year, here's a last retro moment in reality TV history. I'm Daryn Carp, and that was your reality check. Happy New Year.
Quiet, please. We're gonna go live in 5, 4, 3.
In this 2007 episode of The Hills, Teen Vogue intern Whitney Port gets a rare chance to model during a live segment of ABC's Good Morning America.
We have these 4 extraordinary ladies coming down the steps now in a representation that I think is so fabulous.
But just as her boss, Andre Leon Talley, is introducing the models, Whitney takes a tumble,
Wearing Barbara Streisand's.
but quickly recovers. Luckily, her pride was the only thing that was hurt, and Andre was there with words of encouragement.
Honey, it's fine. It's a great way to begin your career. Oh, what happened? Great job. Thank you. You didn't fall on the floor, did you?
Whitney's fall is one of the great moments in reality history. You gotta love live television.
Don't stress, it's fine.
Great. At least you didn't really fall, like you could have actually fallen.